Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium where I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today is the return of Final Fantasy X FF10. This is requested by Battle Fries. The song is called The Contest of Aeons. I think it has another name too, like Summoned Battle Theme or something like that. This is not composed by Nobuo Uematsu. This is Junya Nakano, who I don't know if I've heard before, but it's going to be interesting hearing a Final Fantasy game that has Nobuo in it, but may not be something that they wrote. So I'm pretty curious about it. Let us go. This is now kind of, I think, my fifth FFX song I hear or so. I just heard another one earlier this week, and that was, well, I'm not going to spoil that one, but let's go. A Contest of Aeons. FFX. Sounds like battle music. Ooh. Interesting flavor here. Love the snare. Sounds like a parade, kind of. Well, the percussion is really dope in this song. Oh, it's getting busy. It's getting busy. Okay. It definitely sounds a bit refreshing. The song does not let up, it's just constant force. Okay. A little bit of a resolve. Song's breathing a little bit right now. Barely. Still feels tense. There's a lot of long chords just being held. You can hear one right now. Not here. One of the few moments that is not there. I like this part a lot, actually. Went up. Dun, dun. Boy. Okay, Junya Nakano. Okay. Like I said, I'm not sure if I've heard anything from Junya before. So, from my understanding, there's a lot to be said here. From my understanding, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct here, this was the first PS2 game, and it was kind of an ambitious project. From what I've heard, this was being worked on simultaneously as FF9. I can imagine, if that's true, I can imagine like the stress levels of having a PS1 game, an ambitious PS1 game, and a totally new era on the PS2 with voice acting and such and such and such. You can tell that they really wanted to be like, well, we're welcoming a new era. And it seems like every song in FFX is very... I don't want to say epic. That sounds kind of cheesy. There's a lot of attention to it, I guess. There's this really... Man, what word am I thinking of here? Not over the top. It's climatic. It's... Man... I'm drawing a blank. It's really big. It's big. Everything is so theatrical, and Xanarkand is like extremely beautiful and memorable. Otherworld is like stops you in your tracks. Fight with Seymour is incredibly technical, and and then we got this, which was a 5-minute like tunnel of intensity. So there's this really, I guess, kind of cinematic, big, overall just, I guess epic works. I think epic is just kind of one of those words that sounds kind of like a cheap cop-out. But it is indeed epic. It's a very big thing. And then Suteki Daine, So like I've heard a handful of FFX, and it's very diverse. Actually, it's pretty damn diverse. Because it doesn't seem like they stuck with a genre or a theme. It just seems like they went with whatever the scene requires. And on top of that, there's 3 composers, which, to my knowledge, which is very minimal, that is a first at this time. Up until then, it was just Nobuo. I could be wrong about that, but let me know. And in this case, we have Junya, which we just heard. And then Hamzu, which, what I think, did 13 by himself and some other stuff. So what I'm saying is like X seems like it's just like the dawn of like a new age type of thing. It's very, hey, PS2, let's really sell this. Like they really wanted to, put a lot of power behind it. Anyways, that's just how I feel about the whole thing. I wonder what made them even go with the whole different composer thing. maybe Nobuo was like, well, I'm kind of tired. I want to do something else. But instead of doing the whole thing, let's just agree to, I'm sure that interview exists somewhere, but I wonder what made him not do the whole thing and what introduced the other three, which is cool though, or the other two, because it's kind of refreshing to hear other stuff. Nothing wrong with Nobuo, obviously, but it's nice to hear different perspectives. And yeah, I mean, I can say that didn't sound like Nobuo, but it did sound like Final Fantasy, so that was really nice. It just had its own texture, I guess. Speaking of texture, the drums were phenomenal in this song. All the snare hits, all the, I think, triangle hits. Big, what is it, the China? Just all these things were going on in the drum section. So shout out to whoever did the drums there. This one has just this overall tense feeling. It doesn't sound very nice. What I mean by that is, like, it sounds like this is very bad. I'm pretty sure that has to be a boss fight because of it didn't really like let up. There was one section where there was no drums, and the only like hint of kind of somewhat niceness is when that little, I think, piano part, dun, 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 that was nice and that was catchy. But that was like the only like glimmer of hope. Everything else is just like destruction. Oh, that reminds me. I got a overall, I didn't get a setting per se, but I got a overwhelming feeling of like flight, aviation. And the only reason I thought that is because it reminded me a little bit of like kind of Ace Combat, kind of Project Wingman. It kind of just reminded me of like an aerial type fight or the sky or something like that, which is totally not out of the picture because from what I've played in FF, airships exist. And it's also Final Fantasy, anything's possible. But I'm saying the sound of it and the tensity, when I hear songs like that, I think of like clouds just going by and, kind of just the sky, I guess. Of course, that could just be like in some random dungeon or some store, who knows. And another reason I think that is because of what I wrote next, and that's there was a lot of long chords, like very long, like they were being held for minutes, just dun. So again, it gave me this feeling of just kind of long, that's why I said tunnel earlier, like just kind of moving forward, I guess. Very, I guess, progressive. Very long chords. And when they weren't there, the song actually kind of opens up a bit, and I really like that. But for the most part, the feeling I got was it's a whole song of tense moment. It doesn't sound like it's going to be okay. It sounds quite the opposite. But very enjoyable. And I think the main thing to take away here for me personally is, as most of you know, I really, really, really admire variety. So, for example, if the whole soundtrack sounded like this to me, I would be unattracted to it. But the fact that everything I've heard from, let's just say this, it gave me the same feeling as FF9 did, where every song was just kind of like, what the hell? Why do they all sound so different? Same thing is happening here. Seymour, Xanarkand, whatever else I've heard, they all sound like different games. And they're one game. So, very, very interesting. I already know what the comments are going to say about me playing it, but it's just, no. It's just, to go on that, because, I know it's gonna be like an elephant in the room, people are going to ask. Just to keep it brief, and I don't want to like shatter anyone's dreams or anything, but I just have no interest in it. And that's pretty much it. There's really no reason. I just don't want to. I don't want to make it sound like I don't want to give it a chance or anything, but just like any game that you guys play, you're gonna want to play it first. You're gonna have some curiosity. I don't really have curiosity. I feel like if I would play it, it'd be like an obligation or kind of against my will. So nobody would want to see that, I think, and especially me. So hopefully you guys understand, but at the moment of me recording this, I have zero interest in playing FFX. I am totally fine with just hearing the music, but there's just something, I don't know, I can't go against my gut instinct. It just doesn't appeal to me. I'm sure it's fantastic, but I don't know. I'm just being honest. It just does not have my curiosity. Anyways, that's nor here nor there, but I just know people are going to ask. Let me know more about Junya Nakano. That was actually pretty damn impressive. Don't know if they've been in other FFs, if this was their debut on the scene, but that was really good. That was really good. So a big thank you to Battle Fries for that, and a thank you to you watching, of course. The FFX crowd is definitely out there and committed. And a big thank you to my Patreon members that you see here, and a bigger thank you to my Platinum members that get priority in my request, which is a big deal since my request list is gigantic. That is Kevin, Patrick, Terry, Vanadel, Callanan, Gardelane, Mushimari, Justin, Knox, and Triad 101. Until next time, dudes and dudettes, I'll see you in the next video. There's still a couple more FFX to do, I believe. Pretty sure. Anyways, take it easy.